Hello, welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft. This is Richard, and just right off the bat, to my more liberal friends who are watching this channel, you may not want to watch this video. I'm gonna probably express myself in a manner in which you are not going to like. So I will say, if you have liberal views, especially if you're one of those psycho, woke, extreme liberals, which I really don't think I have any watching my channel, but if you are watching it and you are that way, you probably shouldn't watch this video. Just to let you know in advance. Now, it might piss off some more middle ground people. It probably won't piss off any conservatives, or at least extreme conservatives. But it may piss off a lot of people. I don't give a shit. It's my personal view. And if you don't like what I say, you got several choices. You can just stop watching me, because if you don't like it, don't fucking watch. You know? You can bitch about it in the comments below. If it makes you feel good, go ahead and bitch about it. It's not going to change my attitude or my mind. If you get too shitty about it, I'll just get rid of the comment. I mean, you can be an ass to me if you want, and it doesn't bother me. But I don't know. Keep it civil, I guess. What I'm about to say, I consider to be civil. I don't think that what I'm saying is going to be. First of all, I don't think it's wrong. I think what I'm about to express is completely accurate and true. So there we go. Just to let you go, let you know, there's the warning right there. So anyway, I just got a letter from the VA, and okay, yeah, well, let's cover this part up here too anyway, real quick. So anyway, right here, letter from the Veterans Administration. All right, and I'll show you the rest of it in a minute. I just don't want to show it to you right now, because I want to express myself first, and then I'll show you the letter, what pissed me off. So first of all, I have traced my family tree, my genealogy, back to a Frenchman named Pierre Drouy. Drouy. I may not be saying that right. I don't speak French. Pierre Drouy. Anyway, apparently the last name Drouy, as far as I've been able to tell, is a French term that means love, but not love as in love, but love as in lust. Which I find interesting, because if anyone really knew my past, that name fits me perfectly. So I was a slut when I was younger. Anyway, Pierre Drouy. That's who I can trace my genealogy back to. Now, he had a son who ended up taking the name Drew. At first, it was spelled like the French Drew, with a U and an X, and stuff like that. And eventually, it was Grew, Drew. Later on in his life, but when he first got that name, he was, I think that the people who named him that probably just called him Drew, because, well, I'll explain here in a minute. So anyway, when my family was in France, they left with William the Conqueror to head to a new land, which will eventually become England. But my family left France with William to go conquer England. And they did indeed. So while there, their main job, my family's main job, was to grow hay for William's army. Now, when they got to the land and they took over bits and pieces of it, they were given a section of land to do just that. That's what they were to do. They were to grow hay for the army. Now, that's how we got our last name, Bentley. Bentley. Bent grass is what it means. So, basically, we had a open glade of grass in the middle of a forest. And our job, I say our, being my family, our job was to, and again, this was back when William the Conqueror, so, I mean, it was a long time ago. They grew hay, so the army had food for the horses and animals and stuff. So, that's how my family got the last name of Bentley, bent grass, because that's what we did. We grew grass for William the Conqueror's army. So anyway, so William and my family left France, went over to England, beat the shit out of them, took their land. That's how you get land. There's only two ways of getting land. Now, you can say you purchase land. Yes, you purchase it. But generally, when you purchase land, you're trying to do your best to rip off those people and steal the land for as cheap as you can possibly get, okay? I mean, it's just the truth. It's just the way it is. Or you just steal it from somebody. Beat the shit out of them and take it. That's it. You either buy it through reasonable means or nefarious means, or you just steal it from them, beat the shit out of them and take it. That's how you get land. So anyway, and that's how you still get land today. You either buy it from a con artist who stole it from somebody else, or you con them out of it, or you just beat the shit out of them and take it. That's just how it is. So anyway, my family left France, went to England, beat the shit out of the people that were there, and proclaimed to England, and it's their land, and my family lived there for hundreds of years until finally they decided 1636, I think it was 1636. It was shortly after the colonies, but around 1636, my family decided to leave Wolverhampton, England, and come to America, where they landed in Rhode Island, and they stayed in Rhode Island for about 2 generations. Then they moved to Connecticut. Now the reason, well, we won't get into that. They moved to Connecticut. They lived in Connecticut for a generation or so, and then my specific family moved from Connecticut, went to New York, and they lived in New York. Now they stayed in New York for maybe a generation or two, and from there went to Indiana, to Michigan City, Indiana, as a matter of fact. Now from Michigan City, Indiana, they came down to Kokomo, Indiana, and that's where I'm at. So my family's been in Kokomo, Indiana for 4 generations. Let's see. Grandfather, father, myself, and then my kids and my grandkids. So my grandkids are 5th generation Hoosiers. All right, so all of that said, now let's get to this. Okay, so as I've said before, and I speak quite honestly about it, the only way you get land is by buying the land, which America, the United States, purchased Alaska. I don't know whether or not it was a con job or whether we paid too much. I really don't know the history behind that purchase of Alaska, how much we paid for it. Was it a decent price? Did we swindle the Russians? I don't really know, and I don't really care. But we purchased Alaska. All right, so that makes Alaska ours by man's law. Now, let me let me preface this rest of this statement by saying this. I personally don't believe that humans, people, can own land. It's not ours. It doesn't belong to us. We're just visitors here. This world is not ours. We don't own it like we think we do. I personally don't think that we can own land. All right, we can live on it. We can defend it. We can say it's ours. We can do whatever we want like that. I just personally don't believe that we really own the land. It's not ours. We don't have possession of it. Anyway, that's my personal viewpoint. It does have a little bit to do with my attitude, but not a whole lot. So anyway, we purchased Alaska. Now, we technically, through the Louisiana purchase, we kind of bought, and we really ripped them off. But anyway, we got land through purchase, right? Now, part of the land we got just by kicking the shit out of the people that were here, which were the Native Americans, kicking the shit out of them and just taking their land. Now, sometimes, we gave gestures of stupid shit saying we purchased the land when really we just stole it. But basically, we bought all the land, or we just beat the shit out of the people that here and took it. All right. Now, I'm not going to say that's a horrible, horrible, nasty thing, because that's the only way you get land anyway. Now, special notice for American Indian and Alaskan Native veterans. Okay. Again, like I said, we bought Alaska from the Russians. So technically, according to man's law, we own that. Granted, we beat the shit out of the Indians and stole their land. That's exactly what happened. I don't give a shit what anybody says, whether we paid them something for it or not. It doesn't really matter. We beat the shit out of them and took it. That's just what we did. All right, but that's what you do when you get land. You beat the shit out of somebody and take it. All right. Now, apparently, the government's feeling bad about it now. And on April 4th, 2023, VA published federal registration, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Under this new policy, VA will reimburse co-payments for health care and urgent care received on or after January 5th, 2022, and waive further co-payments for eligible American Indian and Alaskan Native veterans. That's exactly what it says. All right. So they no longer have to pay co-pays. Why? Because they're shitty fighters? Because they got bamboozled? That's a reason to make me pay just because my ancestors were better fighters than you were? That's bullshit. It's just bullshit. I get penalized because my ancestors were better fighters than your ancestors, because your ancestors got your asses kicked. Now you get free shit, and because my ancestors were better fighters than you, I have to pay for it. That pisses me off. I have to pay co-payments. I have to pay for my meds. I have to pay for all that shit. But you don't, just because your ancestors got your asses beat by my ancestors? That's bullshit. So, in conclusion, what I'm taking from this whole thing is this. The federal government is saying, and they've said it many times before, so I don't know why it's such a shock to me now, but they're saying it's okay to be a racist as long as you're being a racist against European Americans. If you're being racist against another culture, then you're a racist. You can be that way against European Americans. That's okay.